Joyce, a couple of weeks ago you were telling us about GM's plans to import 3 new Japanese small cars into this country. And I understand today you have yet another chapter.
I do, John. The General has another car of its own in the works, and this one they're calling Project Saturn. Now, the Saturn is supposed to eventually replace the aging Chevette. But the big news about this car is how it's going to be manufactured. GM did a complete cost study a couple of years ago on building a small car in this country. And they found that with current manufacturing technology, there was just no way they could be price competitive with the Japanese. So, the answer was the Saturn, a car that will be made with new manufacturing techniques. Now, the Saturn is called a no-year car because they don't know when it's going to go into production. Now, as you can see, the car is fairly conventional in design. It's a little smaller than the Chevy Cavalier, but it'll have plenty of room for 5 people. The wheelbase will be 99.5 inches compared to the Cavalier's 101.2 inches. The Saturn will also weigh about 600 pounds less than the Cavalier, making it just a little over 2,000 pounds. Now, it's going to be front-wheel drive with a fuel-injected 1.5 liter attached to a 5-speed manual, or an electronically shifted 4-speed automatic. And there should be good gas mileage, about 45 city and 60 highway. And it should handle well, because it's going to have McPherson struts up front, rack and pinion steering, and a solid rear axle. Now, the plans are to make a 4-door sedan, a 2-door coupe, and a mini van wagon. And all 3 are going to come off the same assembly line. And that's where those new manufacturing techniques come in. GM is going to be using something called modular assembly. That's where certain units of the car, like the engine, the drivetrain, and the suspension, are pre-assembled into a single unit off the assembly line. And then they're added to the chassis at an appropriate point down the line. Now, Volvo and a few others have been doing this for a few years. But with computer-aided design and manufacturing, GM hopes the Saturn will be cheap enough to manufacture so they can be competitive with the Japanese and make a tidy little profit.
Well, it certainly appears that GM is out to take a general share of the small car market.
Definitely.
Well, thanks, Joyce, and we'll see you next time. And from the small car world, let's move to the van world and to a vehicle that I have